All right, it's noon. Everyone, thank you so much for attending this webinar. This is going to be on your commute shouldn't be the hardest part of your day, presented by the Intercity Transit representative. It's here to make your commute the easiest part of your day. With Vanpooling, you skip the traffic stress, skip the parking hunt, and skip the rising cost of driving alone. A calmer, cheaper, easier commute is right here. Stress less, Vanpool more. Our presenter is Kyle McPherson, who leads the community outreach and marketing for Intercity Transit's Vanpool program, helping employees, work sites, and local partners discover easier, more sustainable ways to commute. He specializes in creating clear, engaging materials that introduce vanpooling, support new riders, and strengthen relationship with employers and community organizations. Through events, presentations, and hands-on support, Kyle connects people with the resources they need to join or start a vanpool, making the program approachable and community-driven. His work centers on building trust, expanding awareness, and fostering a sense of belonging among riders across the region. I'm going to turn it over now to Kyle to share the information with you. Thank you, Kyle.
Thank you so much, and welcome everyone. Like the introduction had talked about, some of the key things we will kind of be resurfacing is things about your mood, your wallet, and the daily stress level, your commute. I'm just always excited to talk with state workers about what that looks like, and this is our including tomorrow will be really our third opportunity this year at your agency. So again, if you have questions, we will be on site as well. And we just went through the introduction here, but again, if you do have any questions, I have my contact information available. We do have business phones that do receive calls and text messages. You're also more than happy to send me an email directly afterwards or stop by our table. All right, so quick icebreaker. If you have a chat available on your end, would love to just kind of learn a little bit more about the audience today. And you'll see there we have some fun little emojis reminding us that sometimes commuting can be fun, but it also can definitely present some challenges. So feel free to use an emoji, or you can type your answer about commuting to work right now. If you recently have experienced some traffic on the freeway, if you're interested in saving some more money each month, and then also if maybe your wish list as we head into the fall and winter seasons is just feeling less draining. So give you a couple more seconds here to put in your answer. All right, let's talk real quickly about the reality of what this all looks like, and this will kind of be the framework for the remaining time this afternoon. What we see out there is that there's plenty of long commutes, especially if you live outside of Thurston County. Perhaps your origin starts up in Pierce County, Mason County, Lewis County, even King County. We see a lot of state workers that are up north, or even in Thurston County. There are several areas of our county that do require a much longer commute getting into the downtown Olympia area. Some things that also we see out there is construction, especially I can tell you about Intercity Transit. We've been under construction now for the last couple years, and so we really have experienced a different way of commuting, which involves using a shuttle. And so that doesn't quite get you to the work site, but there are some alternatives, including our Vanpool program. Parking can sometimes be a little bit pressure. I know that depending on where you're at, if you're at the state capitol campus, there is paid parking at some of those work sites. And so Vanpool also provides some relief when it comes to parking. Rising fuel is an ongoing conversation. It really has become quite the norm, especially this year, right around that $5 a gallon mark. And so that can also lead to just, more money being spent getting to your work site there. And then we're also seeing some shifting when it comes to in-office planning. That just means that there are some agencies that have moved, so that creates a longer commute option, right? Potentially, and there's other work sites that are kind of in that pre-planning phase, and so it really just kind of gives a new opportunity to create some habits when you think about your current commute. Um, some information here also, if you want to put in the chat, this was an idea that we actually recently attended at a conference. And so I thought it was quite similar to the commute conversation you'll see here. So we have kind of three different tiers when we're thinking about maybe making that change from driving alone, if that's an option that you currently are doing. So we have paralyzed by possibilities. So that's essentially, I've heard about it. I'm not sure really what to do. I'm hearing about the benefits. Maybe I'm a new hire. Where do I go from here? And so you're kind of, spinning your wheels, just rethinking that idea over and over again. Number two is stuck in adoption purgatory. That means that, hey, I've thought about vanpooling before. I'm not quite sure, but I know that I really want to do it right. So it's kind of that pre-commitment phase. And so we'll talk more about how you can actually join or start a vanpool. And then number three, blind to what's possible. So I'm just kind of thinking more about a new habit, right? So why is this so hard? I often think about other habits, even getting outside every day and taking your 15-minute walk on your break, right? That can be a challenge for some folks, but again, we are also kind of in the business of creating some healthy new habits in the form of transportation. All right, so driving alone, let's talk a little bit more about that here real quickly. So if you do drive alone, of course, that means that weight really kind of falls on your shoulders. So you absorb 100% of the cost getting to work, and also commuting can be quite stressful. I just actually was on a webinar before this call, and they talked about a study that talked more about the morning commute is a large reflection of people and their stress levels associated with that commute in the morning. So one of the benefits I would say that public transportation provides is you just get more time back in the day, right? So when you do commute alone, that just means that's less time, right, that you have in your day. It's obviously being focused on the road and making sure you get to work safely. Increasing your carbon footprint, reducing emissions out there is also an important factor in switching over to a more sustainable commute mode. And then finally, again, we talked about before, sometimes parking can be a little bit difficult. And so we want to make this opportunity as easy and cost effective, as well as reduce some of the stress in just the overall commute. So instead of driving alone, there's a couple things you can think about. Vanpooling is seen as a simple mode. So you ride together in a comfortable vehicle, and then we handle the remaining parts of that. So our agency, of course, is a public transit agency. We do have vehicles available for our groups to use. With that, there's the fuel, the maintenance, and the insurance. One of the things that I think is becoming a lot more popular over time from our post-COVID era is that community building. And so knowing the fact that when you're in a Vanpool group, that's going to be your core commute club, getting to and from work. And so riders do appreciate that. That's sometimes important for them. Again, as they're trying to change habits, they're thinking about their community of getting to and from work, and especially as we head into the fall and winter, we see quite a bit of an uptick in folks wanting not to drive alone. And then ideally, Vanpool is seen as a long-term solution, which also means more or less long-distance commutes. I think our average Vanpools commute just over 80 miles round trip a day. And so that really kind of just tells a story on how much time they're spending on the roads. Why it works so well, especially for state workers, is the commute benefit that's available to you all. If you're eligible for that, that would basically be 100% subsidized fare. So how cool is that? Thinking about at least when I'm commuting to work and back home, I don't have to worry about spending that extra money each and every day or during the month. I also appreciate that van pools give reliability. It creates a positive routine. That's something that we hear a lot about from our current customers is they appreciate that there is a level of accountability, just ensuring everybody does get to work on time. Our state also has a lot of resources and investments into commute trip reduction. And so, thinking about really collectively, right, as a state agency and as a whole, working for the state of Washington, we're all in it together. And part of that includes removing cars off the roadways each and every day. And we already talked about it before, but sometimes we just don't get those opportunities as much to spend time with our coworkers as we used to. And so I think Vanpooling also provides opportunities for that social connection. Um, and then really this just kind of leads back into what we were just talking about there. I think it's just, it's fun to not have to drive alone. It's fun to rotate some of the driving responsibilities. And again, we have our riders are all diversified in what they're doing in the vehicles. So some groups, as you see here, they have their laptops, they're doing some things on there. People read, they listen to music. And again, I think it's just a great opportunity to decompress, given that, the I-5 commute is not everyone's best friend. And so this is where Vanpooling comes into play. And then also your work site. It is a kind of two-level tier approach. And so you as a worker have benefits, and then also as your work site, there are also some benefits that are available. And I want to just jump down really there to the bottom by saying I think it's always a good thing to have alternative transportation options available. It really spotlights your organization. And if anything, it allows, as you see there on the right-hand side, there's a national kind of certification called Best Workplaces for Commuters. Intercity Transit just got awarded that for 2026. So we are currently the only transit agency here in the state of Washington that has that mark. But it is something extra and special, and certainly people like Grace really help drive that message home. So how to get started? We have opportunities available today. If you're interested, you can go online, and there are ways to search for all of our groups on our website, which the link will be listed here in a few slides. So if you prefer really just to kind of see what's available out there, please do so. Take a look at it. You can request more information. And that I would say is the most popular would be just trying to fill open seats available. And you might already have coworkers doing it, so you can also chat with them to get started. So where do you go from here? Our homework really, if it doesn't improve your commute, you can always walk away, right? You're not locked into it. It is a month-to-month agreement. Again, we encourage you to try Vanpooling for 1 month just to see the impacts that it has on your wallet, and then also in your personal life. So this is not a goodbye, but really a see you later opportunity. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to call us, email us, visit our website. And then tomorrow I will be on site for the wellness event. I will send it back over to Grace and your team.
Hey Kyle, we have one question. Does the DVA, our agency, give free transportation passes?
Yes, so DVA is a part of the subsidy program for Vanpool, and I should also mention that Intercity Transit is a fare-free transit program. So if you are in Thurston County taking the bus, then that would be just a get on and go. You don't need a special pass for that. But if you do end up vanpooling, we'll work with your ETC to get you to set up for that. And so your fare would also be fare free.
Would that apply for, because we have employees spread out through the state and stuff, so I think that person that asked that might be up in Seattle, up in King County. Would that apply up there as well?
It would, yes, yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
okay. Thank you. I don't know if I don't see any other questions. So,
Okay.
all right. Well, I
We'll
appreciate
stop.
it. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Everybody, thank you for attending this webinar. The next webinar is at 12:40, which is ways to engage with the Thurston County Food Bank. I'll post all the link in there as well. All our webinars will be posted on our wellness YouTube site. And tomorrow, if you're in the Olympia area, Intercity Transit, like Kyle said, will be at our in-person wellness fair at the Liquor Cannabis Board, located next to us at 1025 Union Avenue Southeast, Olympia, Washington, from 10 to 1. Feel free to stop by, talk to them or any of our other 25 vendors, including puppy and kitten cuddles, a blood drive, and flu shots. Thank you, everyone.